All right, let's make some pinwheels. I gotta hurry up and make these because I've been promising my husband for a week and he might revolt if I don't. So we are going to use these carb balanced tortillas, but you can use whatever tortillas you want. You're gonna need some cream cheese and you're gonna wanna let that soften. And I don't know if I need two, but I'm gonna use two of them. And then you can use the spicy ranch packet, but it's not gonna be quite as creamy. I've done it both ways. I couldn't find it this time, so this time I got the spicy ranch sauce. And then I'm gonna chop up some green onion and some cilantro to put in mine. We've also put bell pepper before, but I don't have it on hand. But you can add any type of veggie like that that you want. But these are the staples that I always put in. Now this, we don't have a measurement for it. You just kind of measure with your heart. This is super flavorful though. So you don't want to, that might have been too much. We'll see. But you don't want to go too overboard. So I would add a little taste, add a little. Now we're going to add in our green onions and cilantro. And this is of course any other veggies that you want to throw in, you can. And by the way, I actually ended up adding quite a bit more of this. So this is the way that we're currently looking. And then I'm just gonna add in a little bit of pepper. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. All right, now for the cheese, you can use whatever shredded cheese you want. You have choices here. You can put it in the mix and then slather it on, or you can put it directly onto the tortilla. I've done it both ways. If I don't have a lot of cheese, I'll just put it in, but I kind of like to sprinkle it because you get more cheese. Just gonna take your filling and you're gonna spread that around. You don't wanna do too much or it's gonna ooze out the sides. So you gotta kind of do it thinner than you would think. Look how good that's looking. Now we take the cheese. And again, you know, it'll feel like you want to do a whole bunch, but when you're rolling it up, if you do too much, it's just gonna get messy and you know, you gotta be, I like cheese, but you gotta be careful. And then I'm using turkey, but of course you can use whatever meat that you want. And then you're just gonna go through and layer this. As you can see, it's kind of like we got a little pizza here. And then this is where you're gonna start rolling. And you do want to try to roll tight. And as you can see, things start to move this way. That's why you don't want too much. The secret hero here is you need some saran wrap. You're gonna put your little roll in the saran wrap. And then you're gonna twist up the sides like that. And that's actually gonna be what helps get it tight. Now, this is the hardest part. The hardest part is you got to put this in the fridge and you got to wait. You got to let it chill. You could just eat it like this. It's not going to be as good. You need to let it chill. Just repeat as many times as you still have tortillas spread available. Once they have had time to chill, you go through and you can open this. Now beware, the ends are what we call the ugly ends. So if we're taking this somewhere, we just eat these. But look how delicious they turn out. They're so yummy. I'm gonna eat another one. Mm. And then of course you can cut them as big as you want. I kind of like them thinner though. I think they just have like a better ratio in your mouth that way. And now we're all done and I just put them in my container and you can take them wherever, or like us, we're gonna eat them probably for the next few days for lunch just because my husband, I was gonna make them for friends and then I didn't. And then he's like, I'm gonna need you to make those. These are really good though. If you've never tried it with that spicy ranch, that's the kicker. Happy pinwheels. Love you guys.